All right, Dan Farrell from Ruoff Mortgage and I are going to talk about pre-approvals today. Dan, the big question on pre-approvals is if I shop, like if I shop my rate, is it going to
Mhm.
reduce my credit score?
No, I mean definitely something that people are concerned out there. They think they're going to lose all these points, but the bottom line is, if you were shopping within a short period of time, typically you're safe within a 45-day period.
Okay.
And ideally keep it around 30, but within that short period of time, if you have multiple, like if you're going shopping for an auto loan or you're shopping your student loans, or with the home loan, any of those things right there, same industry. So if it's a home loan, if you have a couple different lenders pull your credit within that period of time, it counts as one inquiry.
Okay, I think that's a
So
big, well, let's back up and talk about, okay, I'm a buyer or I'm thinking about buying a
mhm.
house. What is my process? How far ahead of time should I contact you or a lender to get pre-approved to buy a home before I go shopping?
I mean, I'm going to tell you right away, because it never fails every week. Seems to be on weekends and evenings where somebody's standing in front of the house that they want.
Right.
They're going to make an offer, and their agent again says, "Have you called Dan?" Or if you call, and they're like, "Oh no, but I will now." So then we get the frantic phone call. Meanwhile, the agent is talking. You've been in that spot 1,000 times. You call up, the listing agent's like, well, we're expecting a couple more offers in. And then meanwhile, that client's, talking to me, and we're trying to turn around a pre-approval as quickly as possible. And a pre-approval, and we've touched on this on previous calls, but pre-approval is different than a pre-qualification. Pre-qualification, typically the big box bank is just going to pull your credit, take your information, and it's a pre-qualification letter based on the information you provided, you told them over the phone.
Right.
Pre-qualification, I'm collecting documents. We're verifying income. We're verifying assets. And that's what the listing agent is going to want to know from you and from me is, have we actually collected documents and looked at everything?
Right.
Because they want to make sure that if they have multiple offers there, they're going to go with the person that did the full pre-approval and has all their ducks in a row and is really, by doing that, is ready to close faster.
Well, and I think,
So
yeah, and the pre-approval is better not only because you're collecting documents and not only because the listing agent and the seller are going to want to know, but there's always like stuff we forget about, right? And we learn this every year when we do our taxes. Like, oh, I made this, I made this, but then you're like, oh crap, I whatever
yeah,
happened, right? So there's always
bingo.
surprises. Yeah. So definitely the pre-approval. Okay, so I know it's like right away as a buyer, I should get pre-approved and call the lender, but
But yeah,
I'm afraid maybe it's too soon. Like, what if I don't find the house that I want? What if I didn't know that it only took like one hit over like a 30-day period? Does that mean if I don't find my house for 90 days, then I'm gonna have to you're gonna pull the credit again?
no, as I tell everybody, because that's everybody's concern, is they just don't want to lose all these unnecessary points as they feel. But of course, you're doing this. The single biggest thing you can do in life is buy a house
Right,
financially for
right,
most people. And so, anyways, with that said, we go over that, it's good that if from the time you do the pre-approval when credit is pulled, and is if we close within 120 days, so you go to the closing table within 120 days,
so four
it's the
months, but
same.
you
We're
need to
going to
find the house in 3 months and close by the fourth.
Yeah, so we're not, like I tell clients all the time, I'm not sitting around looking to pull people's credit. I have zero interest in doing that. It's, we pull credit, everything checks out. We got their documents. We will monitor in the system because just recently we were in a rate rising environment. So we had to go back and reevaluate pre-approvals based on when rates went up.
Mhm.
Thankfully, that's flat and even kind of more ratcheting down. But we kind of got to monitor those things because what I don't want to have happen is we don't want them to show up with a contract, at 110 days, and
Right.
maybe their score was kind of on the bubble of a program, and then it's like, oopsie, we got to repull credit. So we have systems in place. We're very proactive to prevent any of that stuff. But does that happen in the industry
Yeah.
where people are working with somebody? Yeah, yes, all the time because there's a lot of competition out there that it's very unorganized, and they just don't kind of have those kind of tools in place to make sure that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's
if as a buyer, if you're between 2 and 4 months out from wanting to live in the home, Like,
Hmm.
this is the time to start the conversation with the lender to get that organized. And then we haven't left a client homeless yet, right? And like unlikely
Right.
that like you will be
Yeah.
the it's like, okay, that is the time frame that you need in order to get pre-approved, find a house, the closing process. It's like 2 to 4 months
Right.
before you want to live there, like move your stuff in. Sound fair?
Yep. Absolutely. And then we're going to have that conversation. If it's their search goes a little longer than that because of for whatever reason, we're going to have the conversation. We're just not going to go jump in and repull somebody's credit on them.
Right.
So,
And then what we'll do too is include a link because you had a meeting or you got some notifications from FICO, which is the one that evaluates
mhm.
the credit score, and some information, part of what you're sharing today. So we'll put a link to the article too that FICO had sent out to you. Is there anything you want to share
Absolutely.
with that?
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, I think if you read that article, you'll see it kind of debunks a lot of myths
Yeah,
that are out there, and you can definitely see that there's been things put in place to be fair and allow the consumer to be able to shop, whether it's a car, student loan, or home loan.
awesome.
So yeah,
Well, we appreciate you being on. Where do you, if I'm a buyer in the US, like what states do you cover?
Ruoff covers all states but Hawaii.
Okay.
So
Uh,
just yeah, you can reach me at 513-400-4449, and the quick link to my application to get things going is 513preapproval.com.
Nice. And the sooner the better because everybody's situation is slightly
Mm-hmm.
different, right?
It is. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on.
Thanks, Jen. Have a good one.